Welcome to the podcast editing and support show. My name is Dave. Are you ready? Let's go. We're going to start the episode right now. Happy to have you here. Let's do this. All right, we're going to be talking today about creating some consistent branding around our shows and working with our clients on this so that the audience doesn't get confused episode to episode, month to month, year to year. That we're on a totally different path with our shows. So we can help our clients to help them to create a consistent brand around their show. That's our job. That's why we're here. Again, beyond the ums and ahs, right? We're here to help. We're going to talk about why your intros, your outros, and your little segues between your segments, why they matter when we're doing our recording and how we can help our clients with this. So I'm glad you're here. For us as podcast editors and production teams, maintaining a consistent brand sound and image with the audio image for their shows, I think is one of the most powerful ways for us to help us shape how a show is perceived by a listener. And in this episode, I would love to explore how intentional use of intros, outros, and segues creates a cohesive listening experience that actually will help to build trust, to help a show be recognized, and to give off and display a professionalism to what we're creating in our content with our clients, no matter what the genre, what the format. I think there's a lot of great things we can do with our clients to help their show be better. I think every great podcast has a rhythm. They've got beats, and loyal listeners come to expect a similar feeling, a similar tone to the episodes when they listen from episode to episode to episode. Everything from the intro music, which sets the tone for the podcast before a single word is even spoken. Think of McDonald's, that da-da-da-da-da, right? That as soon as you hear that, you already know what that is, right? Your Netflix, CSI, any of those things, right? There's these audio clues that you're in the right space. And that's what we can do with our podcasts and with our clients, is help them to figure out a audio image for their show that matches with the tone of what they're trying to do. Something light and airy, something fun, something super serious, something thoughtful, something meditative, right? Those are all different feelings. Those are all different things. And audio, in music, all of that in the intro is super important. It really signals the show's identity, the mood of the show, and the quality of the podcast. Again, putting our clients' shows up against all of the other shows out there. We want our clients' shows to matter and to stand up and compete. And I think as editors, we play a vital role here, ensuring that each episode starts cleanly. It matches the established audio palette for the podcast, and it instantly reassures the listener that they're in the right place. That's a good feeling for a listener. When they press play, they're like, oh yes, my favorite show, right? The outro, I think, is equally important because it provides closure to the episode and it reinforces the key messages that have happened within the episode as far as the content. And it brings that call to action piece, that next step, the next logical step for the audience. Buy the book, support the guest, follow the show, send us a message, reach out, buy us a coffee, whatever that thing is. That's where that shines. And the people that make it to the call to action, the end of the episode, are these super fans. They are the ones who stick it all the way through to the end, like you do. Thank you. And those are the ones that we're serving. Those are the community members. That's your foundation. Those are your key people. So one thing I always encourage my clients when I'm working with them on intros and outros, I tell them that the intro is for a new listener, somebody new. They've come to your show, they've been recommended your show, They found you somehow through a search. They stumbled upon your podcast, but somehow they got here. So make the intro for them. Make it so that when they hit play, they are the first point of reference. They're the ones you're focusing your attention on, not the people who keep coming episode to episode. Those people might even automatically skip your intros. If some of the apps have these automated skips and they know that you take 15 seconds to get in, they just hit the button once, boom, and you're right into the content. They're not even listening because they know your show so well. So your intros are for new people. Your outros are for your established listeners, the people that have been with you and love what you do. So that's two different audiences. So focus your attention in the intros on new people. Focus your outro attention on the long-standing listeners, your community. I think if you have that approach, don't talk to your long-term listeners at the beginning as a focus, and then focus on your new listeners on your outro. I think you might be missing something here. So be very careful with that. Your outros are super important. And it just wraps everything up. It's a completion of the content. And what I found is I've been working with one client and they had no outro at all. They'd just be talking like I'm doing right now. And then they're like, okay, bye. You're like, wait, what is this? When we show up to create content as a podcast, we're not just recording a monologue or a conversation. We're creating a show. We're creating identity for the podcast. And just bouncing at the end of the episode with no clear completion or wrap up or some kind of finality to what we're doing. I think that we really need to do this and do this well. So keep that in mind. Your outro is where you can share your brand voice, and it sets an emotional tone and it invites people back. Also, consider the fact that people might be listening to your podcast, your client's podcast, in succession. So episode, like they just found you, but you've got 95 episodes like I do for this show. And you're like, I'm just going to go back to episode 1. I'm going to listen all the way through. So they're going to binge your show all the way. That's amazing. So you want that consistent feel from beginning to end in every episode. I think we can really help our podcasters by helping them to understand that consistency across both our intros and our outro. They bookend and they help us to transform a conversation, a thought, into a show. Super important. Another thing you can work on with your podcaster as a podcast editing and support person is segues. Now, I'm not talking about those two-wheeled things that people ride around on. And no, not that. Segues are the secret ingredient that often separates an amateur production from a polished production. Smooth transitions between segments through music, a short voiceover, or a subtle sound design. Did you catch any of that here on this podcast? Yeah. They maintain listener attention and they break up long content into bite-sized chunks, understanding that our audience is busy doing something else and their mind can wander. Their attention can be captured by something else in the moment. And these short little bite-sized chunks with something to tie them back to the content really works well. It helps to maintain your listeners' attention and it prevents their energy from dropping in the content. This isn't an audiobook. This is a podcast. For editors, this is where craft truly meets creativity. We can bring in the tone of the show. We can work on pacing. We can add some texture to the episode that feels like it's a flowing conversation instead of a collection of clips kind of pieced together. So beyond the aesthetics around what we do with our intros, outros, and segues, I think the consistency in branding also simplifies the editing workflow, which will save them money and you time, And using these standardized templates for intros, outros, and segue elements, I think it's something that's going to make your post-production way better and create more of a professional system that your clients can rely on, where every episode has the same look and feel and tone. I think as podcast editing and support people, we can be more than just the technical partners behind the scenes doing the ums and ahs like we talk about here on the show, but we can be more like brand guardians, helping podcasters sound their best and stay on message, and editing out all the fluff that doesn't serve the audience well. In all of this, I think that consistency isn't about repetition. It's about identity and a well-crafted intro, natural segues within the content, and a memorable outro create this continuity that tells listeners, this is the right place for you. You're home. You found your place. This is your podcaster. This is your person. And this is your show. For podcast editors, that's more than just technical finesse. It's actually brand building, and it's a sound investment. That's funny. A sound investment for your podcaster. And I think we have a lot more to offer than simply those ums and removal. You've heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, we're guardians of the brand. How's that? Here you go. So I'm wishing you well. Would you work with your clients as you build up your team, as you get new clients? And if you ever want to chat about podcast editing and support, I'd love to talk to you anytime. Take care. Talk soon. Thanks for listening to the Podcast Editing and Support Show. Visit us at podcasteditingandsupport.com, podcasteditingandsupport.com. We would love to help you find a great podcast editor, or if you want to hire us, we would love to work with you. Podcasteditingandsupport.com. Catch you on the next episode. Take care.